That was a wonderful presentation from Mr. Ramesh Dham. Now I invite both the speakers for our panel discussion. So we are going to begin our panel discussion. So the first question is for Mr. Arun. AI sounds transformational, but many factories are still struggling with day-to-day operational realities. From your perspective as a factory leader, where should manufacturing companies realistically begin their AI journey?
Yeah. So I think that's a very, very relevant question. And across the industry, for example, in ITC also, we have 12 owned factories, but we have 88 other factories, third-party factories. And all of these 100 factories are at various stages of digital maturity. So we have state-of-the-art factories, we have legacy factories. Now it becomes very relevant as, like you said, now we say AI, there's a lot of talk, but how do we adopt it to that legacy factory also? So my thought process, and it's come from a lot of learning of what we've done, is that number one, AI is not a technology project. Okay, please don't take it as a technology project. It is a tool to solve your pain points. So please identify the pain points in your respective factories, in your organizations. What is that biggest pain point? So like I said, in ITC, we said our packaging is our pain point. Okay, so we've integrated our packaging machines. We've not sensorized the entire line. We connected our packaging machines, got the data, put it onto a historian, like what Coromandel, they've just told us. And on top of that, we put a low code, no code, and we solved the packaging problem. So my simple answer to your question is, number one, AI is not a technology project. It is a tool to solve your pain points. And you don't need to do a big bang enterprise-wide AI transformation. Look at your pain points, start small, get a quick win, and then scale up.
Thank you for that answer. So I'll direct the next question to Mr. Ramesh. So what are the requirements for a company to be ready for AI and autonomous operations?
For getting ready for the autonomous operation, the things required are the data at a very mature level. The storage of data means your master data management should be very mature. So I'm giving my example like 3 years before when we starting collecting data from multiple edge application and keep on storing to the next core level. So the major issue what we have faced. So because we are talking about the manufacturing, so I'm giving an example of manufacturing, but that same problem we have faced in the supply chain, finance, and even in commercial function also. So I'm giving in a manufacturing aspect. Say if you have one particular equipment ID in your SAP, and if you are taking data through SAP also, and the same equipment you have in the Aveva Pi, which is your historian, and the same equipment you have in the SAP, the same equipment you have in the LIMS, and the same equipment you are having in any of the other system like inbound and outbound system. So now, if you don't have the same ID, same hierarchy in all the systems, you will not be able to collect the data into the knowledge graph. So if you want to go into that journey, so you have to maintain your system in such a way, like one example I will give you, if you have an employee ID. So if you're working in a company, you have one employee ID, that employee ID will authorize you to open your attendance system, authorize you to open your payroll system, authorize you to open your any of the company system with the one same ID. So if that ID is not authorize you to open multiple systems, then you will be in trouble. You have to maintain each and every different password or different IDs for the multiple system. This is the same thing in the process also. If you are making a hierarchy, so you have to make a standard hierarchy step, say 7 step or 8 step. In that hierarchy only, if I have to add one system, I will add that system in this hierarchy only. Say if you are adding one equipment in one particular plant and you have made the SAP code, because first of all you make the SAP code. Now you are going for replicate that asset. So either you should have a very defined API so that your SAP system hierarchy will move into the another system, or if you don't have the API system link with the other system, then you have to make the same hierarchy into the other system. If your master data is good, then only you can go for the knowledge graph kind of ops layer, data ops layer, and then only you can utilize all the data for the agentic framework. So this is the main thing you have to, at least if it is not there, start now. Maybe it will take about 1 year, 2 year, or maybe sometime 3 years also. But if you get that master data management, then you are ready for AI.
Okay, good to know that. The next question is for Mr. Arun again. So there is a growing concern globally that AI and automation may replace jobs. As someone leading a large manufacturing operation, how do you see the relationship between AI and the industrial workforce?
Well, yes, so that's a very prevalent question nowadays. AI is going to kill jobs. But there is a McKinsey study which says AI will take away, I think the numbers are 90 million jobs, but it will also create 120 million new jobs. So that's a McKinsey data that we have. Now, that is largely for the software sector and so on. Now, in terms of manufacturing, if I were to talk to you about manufacturing, I don't think AI is going to, I might have to reframe that question and say AI is not going to take away jobs. It's going to make your workforce multi-pronged. It is going to make him much more capable. If we look at it from that perspective, from that lens, I think that is what is AI. And I'll give you a ground study, a ground use case. So when we started implementing dashboards and what I just spoke to you about in one of our factories, change management, somebody said, is, I think Coromandel will also agree, is the biggest problem. Okay, because, for example, they said, okay, AI said you have to add 9% water in my wheat to get the best atta. He said, nahi, sir, ye 9% nahi, I have to do 7%. But then when he added 9% and he got FG, finished goods of that, so then suddenly it hit him. I'll give you other examples. Now, I think all those in manufacturing will be aware of the PLI scheme. So the operator produces more, he gets more. Okay, the minute he realizes that these tools actually enable him to produce more and his take home increases. Okay, so there is no better buy-in than that. And it has, through PLIs, through these efficiency incentives, his take home has increased. So that's the biggest buy-in. So AI is not going to take away jobs. It is going to make that operator, at least in manufacturing, it is going to make that operator much more efficient.
Okay, that's great to know. The next question is for Mr. Ramesh. So on similar lines, what challenges you foresee in the journey of automation to autonomous?
One challenge I could see, like, okay, first of all, what I'm not taking as a challenge, technology I'm not taking as a challenge. Because right now, that right technology with the right people are available, the right partners are available. So technology is not a problem. The problem is adoption of technology. So as Arun said, like operators should be able to adopt that technology and they should follow the system that AI is saying. Otherwise, what happened, if AI keep on generating the inputs for the operator and operator don't even following that, so there is no meaning of putting everything on that. So the change management that is required for these kind of adoption, that should be done on a very frequent basis. So some of the things that we have done earlier, the concept of training was there in our company. So we were keep on saying like we have to train the people, we have to keep the like 3.5 hours of training mandate per month sometime. So we have from our digital transformation, some operations are already like using that, but from our digital transformation system, we have removed the word training. What we are saying, we will do workshops. So only we will discuss, we will go to the plant, we will call the teams there, 30, 40 member or maybe a small group of member, we'll do a workshop. We are going to have this solution and we will discuss among the, all like, okay, what problem you foresee and this is the system that how it will run. Can we make it better? So we take immediate solution from them, how to make it better. So this is one thing we, training we have shifted from training to workshop. And one more thing we have added last time, we are doing a skit, like on stage skits. So that was one experience I am sharing with you. I was about to start the smart maintenance system and I have taken about 150 tabs and AR glasses. So there was a union in our bigger plant. They refused like, okay, our technician or the fitter will not use tab. So then what we did, a small script I have written and asked my fellow colleagues to translate into Tamil, Telugu. What we did, just a few 30 seconds I will give because we have a short time. What we give in that script, the person fitter, because right now fitter are earning much, so their children are studying into the English schools only. So when he went home and he asked his children like, okay, what you are doing? So he just malab, told him, you will not understand, this is a computer. You work with your hammers and everything, you will not understand this. So this pinch a load to that particular fitter and it was there in its mind. So in a company, after 1 or 2 weeks, the manager called everyone and told them, we are giving you tabs and computer to work on the maintenance system. Immediately on a back speaker, the children voice comes into his mind like, okay, you can't do with these computers, you work with your hammers. So immediately he raised the hand and he told like, I will work on this computer and tab. So this is how the change management and these kind of things that works definitely for the people who are working on the ground. So that is must for adoption of AI. If you are not doing these kind of things, this will become a major hurdle. Technology will never become hurdle.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. Now I would like to request the audience to come forward with their questions.
Good evening, sir. My name is Sumit Kumar Haldar from NTPC, and my question is to Shri Ramesh, sir. You explained beautifully, MCP, the role of MCP in model and agent development. And I believe you are also operating certain MCP servers and clients in your whole system. So, do you see any security concern while you implement MCP? And if they are there, how are you mitigating them, sir?
Yeah, not only for MCP, there are every time when you are using LLM, there is a concern, not the security concern of leakage of information, but it can, if you are interacting with the other part of the world, anybody can get into your systems also. So for that, there is a specific restriction or the instance is required. Say right now, you have, we have one instance for operational KPI and business KPI. I'm giving you example like business KPI, we are running on the Azure Data Lake and we have Synapse Analytics on the top of that for the Power BI visualization for the business KPI. So now the one way is we will take on the same instance, we will take that AI agents or some search queries and we will take the LLM outside of the world and we will take the services through API key. So open API key or the Anthropic API key, if we take that data through API key and take the entire link with the Anthropic or OpenAI from the outside of the world, then there is a straight way, there is a issue of leakage of information. If you are using this for your process, you are using, so entire data can go for the training of that particular model. So the best way is you make the one instance on the top of that, and in that instance you make that LLM work in that. So you made LLM all the basic, like if you go to Hugging Face and everywhere, all the models are available with their weight and biases. So you download the model into the one instance and link that instance only with your instance. So there should not be any outward connection. So now the data will not flow outside, and there will not be a leakage of information for the training of that model also. So these kind of system you have to maintain. If you are maintaining, there is no security concern. But if you are not making the guardrails and the kill switch I told, so maybe the agent become so smarter after some time, it may jump to the another system, get the authorization and take the data from them also. So you should have guardrail, kill switch, and the separate instance for downloading the model into that instance. So these are things are required for making the infrastructure for the safe operation.
So, sir, just extending that. So, you mean to say in the intervention and in the implementation that you did in your organization, sir, you have made use of open weight models from the likes of Hugging Face and others, which you can download and implement it on your own servers or own systems. Kind of, or you are also accessing closed weight models like OpenAI's GPT-5 series, etc., or Anthropic Cloud and Cloud Sonnet, or Opus through API calls. So
initially we started with outside only, but when we started putting lots of information into that, then in one of our workshop we discussed with everyone the data. If we put this data, this is the crucial information. I'll tell you, when we were about to start the R&D function like retrosynthesis, so at that time we thought like, okay, we should not put the data, because retrosynthesis, we have to put all our past experiments into the model, and that will give you the new route for your new molecule synthesis. So if we put that data into that, so then entire information will be lost. So at that time we thought like, okay, now we will not utilize. But initially, yes, we have also started with Anthropic and Cloud API. So still on some data, we are still using that API keys. But for this R&D function, we strictly use our own LLM models.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Pandya Rajan, so I'm from ABB. My question is to Arun. Can you hear me now? Yeah, myself Pandya Rajan, so I'm from ABB. So my question is to Arun. Typically in industrial environment, reliability is one key factor in your decision making. But it was very interesting in your presentation that you are creating some tools based on AI. Even using some internship which you mentioned. So it was very interesting for me, but how do you rationalize where I will go for a subject matter expert, which sort of work I will undertake through fresh eye?
Yeah, so I think that's a very relevant point. The AI model that you develop, and especially if you're on some LLM, there is a certain level of hallucination that happens initially. And then that model learns. So typically in any process, before you implement the results or you make that autonomous, there is a phase of validation. So with actual and the results of the AI model. So that takes, for example, I spoke about the water addition into our wheat. So that took around 2 to 3 months. Number one, to validate the accuracy. Number two, to build the confidence of that operator. And of course, the senior management, because it's a huge volume you're talking about. If the model hallucinates and gives you a wrong data, and you use that, and then you have so much of FG that goes waste. So it takes it takes a learning, it takes validation, and it takes, I would say, now of course I understand there are faster models, but when we implemented, it took around 2 to 3 months for the model accuracy to increase, for the confidence to rise. And now there is complete confidence in the system. Also, there is quality testing that we do at every shift, at every batch, which also revalidates, at every shift, the accuracy of that model. So it's a learning curve, which initially takes some time, but then it gradually, I would say, even exponentially reduces.
You actually internally validate the results of the model as a systematic process and then deploy it in the actual.
That's right. So first there is a prototype, and then you actually take it on the production floor. There is a certain double checking that we do with the old legacy process and the AI model. And once there is confidence, then there is we believe in that system, but there is also always a cross-checking that happens at every level. So I think that is the process of implementation.
Thank you.
Okay, one last question from the lead. Yeah.
I'm Jazeen Aziz. I manage PCB manufacturing in BHEL. My question is to Mr. Arun Gopalswamy. Many industrial AI implementation assume that the manufacturer has clean contextual data. But in reality, the shop floor is predominantly run on ERP systems, a lot of Excel sheets and manual logbook entries. So from your experience of AI implementation, did you face this issue of availability of clean data, which is actually the crux of AI? And if so, how long did it take for you to get the data clean?
Yeah, so good. So there's a twin-pronged approach that we took. Number one, yes, one factory where we, Coromandel Fertilizers has done. We've gone in for that tech stack from the SCADA to the level 2, level 3, and then the historian, and on top of that, an AI analytics layer. So that, by default, the data is available. Now, there are a whole lot of other factories where, like you said, 80% of the data is in Excel. Okay, so what do we do? Do we build that tech stack again? And then, so we decided, okay, why not use something what we call a digital factory operating system. So on an as-is basis, that means if I have, let's say, 20% data available through my SCADA, the other 80% is available on Excel. So we built a simple bot that extracted this data, which took that machine data from the SCADA, which took this, of course, the frequency of the Excel bit may not be as high as the machine data, but there is data nevertheless. So this data, finally you work out what KPIs, if I can just explain that flowchart in 2 minutes. So I said, okay, the KPI that we want to monitor is, let's say, material yield. Okay, so I get some amount of data from my packaging machine, but the scrap wasted is an Excel-based entry. Okay, so my KPI is yield. So I get some data from the machine. A lot of it is in Excel. So there is a bot which grabs this data from this through the Aviva Pi or the historian, and there is a bot which grabs this from my Excel, and it creates a dashboard. So that is something that we have created where on an as-is basis, as you are today, I will digitalize and I will create a dashboard. At least I start getting my insights, and there if I find, let's say, my scrap is very, very essential, which is an Excel based. So I will sensorize only my scrap pickup, okay, which I will increase the frequency of monitoring of that instead of going big bang. So that's the approach, let's say a twin-pronged approach that we have taken. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you. I think we are running out of time, so we'll close here. Thanks for joining us here today. And